la ti da da yo, yeah. Maybe la la ti da da yo, yeah.
McCoy, the wild ass producer.
Baby girl, be humble. Be humble. No time, no day for the fumble.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the Ari Salvia podcast. Been offline for a while. Post World Cup, I thought I'd just get away from everything and just chill out with the family. But I'm happy to be on here again and speak to you guys and give you guys what you guys want. And I'm just lucky to have one of the Usos here, one of the young kings here. For the people that don't know us, introduce yourself, brother.
Bro, it's a pleasure to be here, first of all. Name's BLESSGOO Kirifi. Lucky enough to play rugby with this guy down here in Wellington for the Canes. Grew up in New Plymouth, went to Francis Douglas with a few of the boys. Call Wellington home now.
Yo, how'd you, because BLESSGOO is a weird as, because I heard you're a Samoan and then BLESSGOO, I was like, what the hell? How'd your name come?
Bro, I get asked that question
all
the time, mate. Dad just played a bit of footy, obviously, back in the day, Jack Kirifi. Met a few people, and he met a guy called Morne BLESSGOO. He was he was a South African captain and played number 8 back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I think when he met Mum, he was like, we're naming our first boy BLESSGOO, by the way, and she was like, what? I don't know, but yeah, so that's it, bro.
Because Dad's Sa and what nationality is Mum?
Dad's Sa, Mum's from New Zealand, bro.
Oh, yo. Because
Yeah.
then Morne BLESSGOO did do a video, not long ago?
Yeah, bro, it was pretty blessed, bro. When we were in South Africa, we were in Durban, actually. One of the boys knew him, I think, and teed up a little video from him, and he just sent it my way, pretty much just expressing his best wishes and whatnot. And I think, that was a pretty cool moment, getting something like that from my namesake. Sent it to Dad. Dad started crying.
Nice. And, bro, you're rocking a new look now. This new year, the moustache and the hair. What's up with that?
Nah, I'm just, I don't know, sick of looking like a 12-year-old, bro. No. It's going through a real ugly phase at the moment. I don't know, bro. Just growing the hair out. I don't know. Tie it up one day. It's taking a while. It's taking a while.
You're going to tie it up?
Yeah. But until then, I got to wear a hat, eh?
Hard. And what you been up to? Obviously, it's the off season.
Yeah, bro. It's been nice. It's nice having your whole day to yourself, and kind of having no commitments for the most part. Just been training, bro, and enjoying being able to socialise with my mates a bit more than often, but it's good, bro. It's nice having a rest. Body's appreciating it.
Yeah, bro. For you guys that don't know, I got back and this guy's been training 4 times a day, running the hills, gym. And I'm like, also have a rest, man.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Yeah. So explain what's behind your mentality, because you're training the house down. Also. You're looking good too.
I guess, bro. The mentality is pretty much just compete, you know.
Yeah.
You want to win. You play rugby to one. It's a dream job. You love it, but 2, you're there because you want to win. And that's been my driver the whole time. I've been coming through as I just always trying to be the best, bro. If that's on the training field or on the game or whatever.
Yeah. Have you always had that attitude when you're growing up? Because you grew up in. You're not from Wally, eh?
Nah. Yeah, bro. I've always had that attitude, but I think it's something I've had to hone because, it was fucking a lot of people off for that edge and that competitiveness.
We'll touch on that later, bro.
Bro. So time and place, but at the core of it, bro, it's always it's about winning for me. So
because how old are you?
22.
Yeah, so you're young, man. We're all young. But obviously, tell us a bit about your journey, I guess, from college days growing up, or your upbringing. I know that you missed out on New Zealand schools, but you're here now with the Canes, and you travelled from home to wherever for uni. Yeah. So explain a bit about that, bro. How was all that?
Bro, it was, I guess, like everyone else, it's been a bit of a journey. You had your ups and downs and stuff like that. But I'm grateful for all the lessons I learned along the way. Grew up in Taranaki, went to school, same class as Geordie. and a few of the boys up there.
Udon.
Udon. And then like neither of us made schools, which I guess you're only a kid. It's not the be all end all. So but still took it pretty hard. I went off to uni in Hamilton, played that Jock Hobbs tournament with the 19s up there, and we did really well, bro. We like
for Waikato,
yeah, for Waikato. So the academy and the system up there is like it was pretty top notch when I was going through there, and we ended up winning that, which put us in a good position, going towards like New Zealand 20s and stuff like that. Boys getting Mitre 10 super contracts, but yeah, like again, I missed out on 20s, and that probably wasn't due to my lack of ability. I think it was a big lesson in humility and ego, because that was a bit of a dick back then, and so that ultimately cost.
What do you mean you're a dick? Explain.
Right, no, I was just this little like cocky idiot.
That's good though. Like,
bro, I mean, it is, bro. But I just oozed this kind of arrogance, I guess. And that's what kept me out of the team at the end of the day. So for me, it was a big lesson in humility and
But do you think, because you didn't make schools, like 18s, 20s, do you think that's like the be-all end? Because obviously nowadays, if you don't make it, like some guys are like, fuck, I'm not going to make it professional footy, but, at a young age.
It is. Bro, like at the time, because I guess if you love rugby and that's what you want to do, at the time it's like you feel like your whole world's crashing down because you're so invested in that thing.
Hard, eh?
But looking back now, there's so much more. It's real cheesy, but there's so much more to life, bro. You got family, you got jobs, you got studies, so there can be other things in your life that you can keep going and ticking over with. But I guess in terms of rugby, like, yeah, you might not make some teams, but that doesn't mean you have to stop playing or you're never going to crack on later on. Yeah.
Hard. Because then how'd you end up in Wellington?
Bro, so that was just my saving grace, man. I think my agent just put the feelers out, and new Wellington coach back then, Chris Gibbs. He pretty much just said, we'd like him down pretty much as soon as possible to kind of see what he's about. And I just took that opportunity with both hands, bro. Jumped on a plane, and I think I had a couple bags. When I came down, bro, I was living in Geordie's garage. Sure. But yeah, it was awesome, bro, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity at the time.
Hard, bro, because you fast forward it now, mate. Hurricanes contract, up and coming, rising star. I saw an article saying players to look out for, and your name was one of them.
Oh yeah.
So, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Don't say that. That's a stitch up, bro. Nah.
But obviously, you must be proud, bro. And I know when I see, because mum and dad always come and watch you play, and I see how proud they are. So it must mean a lot to yourself and your family. Yeah.
I think for me, I just want to keep going, but I love probably the biggest satisfaction I kind of get is when mum and dad say they're proud. So that's I guess that's a huge thing for me, because they've always been there supporting us, and so I guess like as a son, you just kind of want to repay that. So I love it when very satisfied when mum and dad say that I've done well or stuff like that, which isn't it's not very often. Bro, but I guess there's times when you can sit back and look at what you've done and look at where you've come from, and acknowledge it, but still heaps of work to do, bro.
Hard. And obviously your rookie season last year for the Hurricanes, how was the season for you? How was all that? Did you expect to be where you were last year, because you came out firing, you were hissing, you know what I mean? But how was that?
Bro, it was the biggest blessing, I think. You
scored on your debut, eh?
Yeah, but probably only scored because I stopped you from scoring. It was mean. I think going into it, you got boys like yourself, Sam Hemwoods and stuff, who have been there and established. So I just wanted to learn as much as I could, but still compete. I'm not there to just take part. Which I think is a quality that I guess the coaches liked. So they gave me a few opportunities to play, and I just took them with both hands, bro, and didn't look back. But I think looking back at the season, bro, I didn't expect it to be as like productive as it was, but so grateful, bro. It was hissing.
But it must be mean as well, like I guess because you're young, playing with like guys like Tej and Colsey. Probably did,
Bro,
at college, because they've been in the game for
I
ages.
think Colsey was still running around when I was at school, but just stoked, bro. Like you get you it's easy to turn up after a few months and be quite familiar with the territory and just you see them every day, but I still go home and my brothers or like mum just like, so what's it like? Like
hard.
What's Colsey like? And I just I tell her he's a grub, but he's bro, it's honestly unreal. I think that's one of the best things about Super is, or any situation is being able to learn off people who have been there, done that. So
that's
pretty cool.
That's
bro.
the main point you brought up, like because we're in the team. Because like when you're from the outside, you like, oh man, I wish I could just hang out with like Colsey and Tej, but then you become like good mates, and it's just like normal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, like mum and like the cousins and like the boys are like, gee, what's the thing like? And you're like, it's just normal. You know what I mean? So, but that's pretty gangs. Obviously, you said that you learnt a lot in that Cade season.
Bro.
We've been gone by today, hey. But what? Tell us a bit about
bro. No, you lead it off.
No, you go. You
go. Bro, you just know me like real fiery, and then probably pushed the boat out a little bit too far at a couple trainings, and bro, just young and eager and full of energy. Probably not quite seeing the bigger picture, Super season's a long season, bro, and I was like, we're in week 2 and I'm trying to like cut people in half at training when it's probably not so productive, so ended up getting in a couple of
a few scuffles there, eh?
A few how's your fathers, a couple run buxes up through the week, and even me and you
hard
me and you probably had the biggest one of the year. It was
It was funny. I'll tell you guys a story. We were at training, before semis week,
Yeah, that was it ended up being the last training of the year.
Yeah. And me and Dupes got into a little bit of a scuffle. And what happened after that?
So whenever talk about the hongies?
Yeah.
So at in our environment, whenever two people get into a fight,
or just like
anything,
anything.
At the end of the training, before we all leave the field, in the middle of the huddle, those two go to the centre and hongi it out, and just like that's it, like it doesn't go past here. And Arden and I but we'd gone at it, and
someone was like,
I was about to cry,
and someone was like, hongi it out, and I was like, nah, fuck that.
Bro, I was cut because I was like, I want to like sort it out. I'm sick of like, I don't want to be angry.
But because I needed to remove myself, because when I said nah, everyone was like, oh, come on. And then Coles was like, nah, leave him. And then like I went, grabbed my stuff, and I was like, I had to leave or else I'll do something stupid that I'd regret. So we left. And then like after an hour, we like called each other. So sorry, we're like, so sorry, man. And then you were driving around my house for half an hour.
Bro, I was so cut, bro. And it was buzzy because like everyone knows we're so close. Yeah. And then in the change room after, it was like a funeral, bro. It was like dead, silent, awkward as both of us still like angry as at each other. Yeah. After training, I was cut, bro, and I just wanted to make amends. Yeah. And I drove to your house, but didn't like come in. I just like drove around the block once, drove around the block again, and then ended up. I actually was like, nah, fuck. I was like, nah, I can't do it. So I just started driving home, and you gave me a call. So
it's
pretty good. So
family fight, you know what I mean?
Brothers fight,
brothers fight. Yeah. But it's been a mean season. Obviously, we lost in the semis, so hopefully this year, we go.
Always want to be better.
100%. We can go right through, but we got to wait for that big preseason coming
couple months to go, but yeah, I guess the building process starts now, bro.
Yeah, like I just see you drinking water, eating like constantly, bro. Fuck.
And going to Christchurch races.
Seeing Geordie and Ricky in LA. But obviously, like, bro, like everything's happened at a young age for you. Like you're 22, Lions, Super, and then you captained the Lions this year. To a final, which is like holy. You know what I mean, bro? How was all that? Like it being at a young age, and there were like senior guys as well in the team, being asked to be captain, and through the journey with the boys. How was that, bro?
Bro, it was like when they approached me to go co-captain with Matty, it was like I was like, are you like serious? Like It was pretty humbling, and it was at the start of this year, so I had the whole super season to just mull it over and think about it. But I got to a point where I was like, no, I think the boys got my back. It'll be a good learning experience for me, and I'm not doing it alone. I got boys like Matty, I got some other senior players that are in that team. James Blackwell, he was awesome this year.
He's a man,
even like Matiaki Kafatolu, James O'Reilly, Nalu Tafale. They helped heaps, bro. But for me, it was like, are you serious? Like, I've only been here for like 2.5 years, so for them to, I guess, trust me with that role, it was pretty humbling, eh?
Yeah, hard, because, like, did your initial thought go like, man, I don't deserve this?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we talk about it, like, obviously at group, and how, like, when people ask you to be in that position, like, how we automatically think in ourselves that, like, we always think to downgrade ourselves, you know what I mean?
100%.
Instead of being like, oh shit. But yeah, like, and how was the season with the boys? Like, any?
It was hissing.
Yeah.
Very gutted. We lost the final. And the ones, I guess, where you lose when you feel like you could have won, they hurt more. So we got things to work on still, bro, towards next year, which is exciting. But I think when we look at the season and we look at what we achieved with the group of boys we had, very proud of what we did. Especially like we played that first game and we got pumped. Like we're on the ferry back home. All of us were like,
but that was the only game you lost, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Apart from we lost another one actually. We went up to North Harbour and got teed off on, but it was a good season, bro. It was a good season.
Hard. And like being like a leader from the first year, you're just coming in, finding your feet. One of the boys. Like, how was that, bro? Like
it obviously, you have to hold a certain capacity to do a lot of things quite different. And just naturally, you kind of are set apart from the boys a little bit. But probably the biggest thing, bro, was as a player, you just worry about yourself. I know my role. I've eaten well this week. I'm ready for the game. But I guess when you take on that leadership responsibility, you turn up to little things like primers, bro.
Yeah.
And you're like worried about every single one of the boys, and you're worrying if he's focused or not. So that was the other thing or you go from just worrying about yourself to all of a sudden everything's on your plate.
Just making sure the team and the culture.
100%, bro. And for me, all I wanted to do was for us to win. So
hard.
That was at the core of everything, so I guess that drove a lot of my actions and a lot of the stuff I said.
Because you told me, we had a conversation when we caught up, and you're like, sorry, Wilson, now I know how you feel. You're a leader just trying to take it easy.
Bro, it's a long year, man, and we had a couple of kids come in just for one-off days to make up some numbers so we could like train against them. And these kids are taking their opportunity, bro, and they are like, it's only like body in front, and it's pretty chill. And these kids are trying to cut people in half. And one of them came at me, and I got so angry, and I was like, oh, bro, like that was me 2 months ago with Artie, and that was me with Artie, that was me with Colsey, it was me with Nani, like. Yeah, so it was cool being on the other side, but seeing the hunger from those young kids. But yeah, that's learning that everyone
100%.
Everyone's got to go through that.
Go through it to learn, eh?
Yeah, bro.
And like I said again, like you've cracked it, and obviously you want to push through.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're a professional footy player. At a young age, at 22, bro. Like, have there been any like pressures off the field that you've had to like deal with, or like any kind of external away from the game, from being at a young age, you know? Because for a young dude, when you come into professional environment, you know, you got to not act a certain way, but like you just got a lot of standards to live by because we're in the public eye.
Yeah, bro, absolutely.
Yeah, so how you...
bro, like, there's the like the typical stuff, bro, that everyone kind of faces. You know, you got temptations and whatnot, and you balance them out with where you want to be in 5 weeks' time. Do you want to be playing like competitively in the semi-finals, or do you just want to be at home? So, I don't know. Nah, not really, bro. I think something Dad installed in us as kids was what's really important in life and stuff like that. So there's always going to be stuff floating around outside of the rugby circle, but I didn't really. Nah, it's pretty chill, bro.
Yeah, and I guess away from the game, man, because like you're a bit of a photographer these days. You carry your camera around.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
Stopped it, but yeah, had to settle down during the rugby season.
What's that?
Bro, like we went to Japan, and I was like, Japan, Tokyo blew my mind. Like, I just thought this place is unreal, and I had my camera, and I was pretty much like a deer in headlights, bro, the whole week, going out taking photos, and got to the game, and I realised I honestly hadn't I'd barely even prepped for the game. I hadn't even been thinking about the game, hadn't left any time aside for me to prepare well, to play well. Yeah. And I played like jit and got dragged at half time. And so that was a big lesson for me, was making sure that, you got to enjoy the travel. You got to, you're going to these amazing places, but there's what's the number one priority you're there for, and that's rugby. So I learned a lesson there with balancing my time and what I prioritise. But but I love taking photos, bro. I think it's awesome clearing the mind on days off, like and stuff like that. But,
how'd you get into it?
Bro, I just got gifted the camera by this guy I knew, and just started YouTubing stuff and self-taught myself. So it's nice to have like a creative outlet. I say a lot of the boys, you know, they got podcasts, you're doing vlogs, clothing companies, all sorts of stuff like that. So I think it's awesome when boys play golf. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's nice to have something away from rugby that you can just do, bro. So that's my thing.
Because what's your Instagram name, photography page?
The First Set.
Yeah, just a little plug there for you. But like, and obviously like your photography is kind of like, there's a purpose behind it now. Like, explain a bit about that.
Yeah, so on the First Set, there's obviously photography, but there's also like I share people's stories about them and their dealings with mental health, you know, like anxiety, depression, all of that kind of stuff, what their fears are in life. And it's just a way, I guess, to, I don't know, deepen the conversation about that stuff and make it more real, more people talking about it, you know. It's and by every individual that shares their story, in a way, it liberates others to do the same. So every time we share a story up there, it gets massive feedback. A lot of people start talking about similar experiences and stuff like that, and you see a little bit of a community growing. And I think it shows people that, as an individual, you are extremely unique and stuff like that, but maybe some of the things you've gone through are not just your own, and you don't have to carry them alone, because the lady that served you at the checkout probably experienced the same thing last week, and the old mate at the petrol station the same thing the other week. So you know, it's pretty cool.
Then, like, how do you approach the people? Do the people approach you that want to share the story?
Yeah, it's probably like 50-50 actually, bro. So a lot of people love what I do, but it's not really me. All I'm doing is giving a voice to some people. So it's 50-50. Some people hit me up. I know some people who I feel like their experiences will be really valuable for people to hear. So so it's a mixture, bro.
Do you go meet them, or do they just send you?
I always go meet them, bro. So always go catch up with a coffee, and I don't actually record. I don't record what we say. We just yarn and beef it out. Like flesh it out and talk about it, bro. Just back and forth, and then once we're done, I just say, look, you just kind of write down how you want to share it and how you want to portray your experience. Try write it as if you're talking, and
Yeah.
then just flick it through, and I'll suss it out and send it back to you. Make sure you're happy with it. And
You
up
just
it goes,
jammed the
bro.
photo.
Yeah,
like,
so I
after.
love catching up with them in person. To, one, talk about it, and two, take a portrait.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bro.
Oh, that's pretty gangs, eh? Like, because I know reading that, it's similar to Humans of New York, eh?
Yeah, so I drew a lot of inspiration from that, eh? I think initially I had an idea was just to do the exact same thing, bro. Run into randoms.
Yeah.
But I don't think I got the balls to like walk up to random people in Wellington and ask them about.
You should do it, man.
Nah, maybe one day. I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah.
Bro, because, like, the biggest thing, like you said, people are sharing these things and are not realizing so many other people are replying and saying, shit, I'm going through the same thing. And that's just like we talk about well-being and stuff, like how important it is to know your uniqueness and know that your stories like can touch so many others and make it feel
100%,
okay
bro.
for people to talk.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome what you're doing, bro. Like creating that safe space, eh?
Yeah, bro, just shedding some light on it, eh? I think for a long time that kind of topic, all of that stuff was just pushed aside, put in the corner. It's in the dark. The more we can talk about it, bro, the more we can share our experiences. It's just shining a light on something that was previously kind of hidden. So the more we can do that, bro, it's I think the better.
Hard. And social media, bro. What are your thoughts on
Social media, bro.
on that? Like,
I think social media is outstanding. It's
Yo,
a
let's go.
bro.
Feed me, bro.
It is honestly. People use it however they want, but social media at the end of the day can be an extremely mean tool to connect people, to deliver your message, to
Come closer to the mic, please.
to do all of that. Social media. Don't you say that again?
No.
Oh yeah,
No,
I think social media is outstanding. Obviously, everything in moderation. And if you find yourself on Instagram just kind of getting beaten up by what everyone else is portraying, then maybe you got to look at what you're looking at.
Yeah, hard.
But bro, I think if you use it in the right way, yeah.
Bro, because it's awesome you have that mindset, bro, because I'm 26 now. I've been in the professional rugby game, and I know social media, there's always such a negative connotation on
bro.
it, we got a PD session on social media, and it's always like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. So the boys like a real iffy, like they double guess themselves on posting.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's cool to see, like, you think that social media. Do you find it in the professional environment to like hard to post or put yourself out there in the rugby game, or
No, I think for some boys, it's not their thing, that's all good,
that's all good, yeah.
and you like sometimes you'll post something, you'll turn up the next day, and old mate will give you a bit of grief about it. But just touching on what you said, I think for coaches or management, they worry that some boys can get distracted by it.
Yeah.
I know in the New England Patriots, the head coach hates social media. Yeah, bro. So.
but
and then you look at.
Do you think that's because he's the older generation?
He's very old generation, but bro, this guy Bill Belichick, he'll be Hall of Fame. So
True.
what he does is good. But then you look at players like OBJ,
Yeah.
who just love social media. But you see where they're coming from. If you're getting distracted by it, then that's affecting how you play. But personally, I love it. If I get a cool photo during the game, I'm definitely putting it up.
100%. And like I always have that mentality, bro. Like when I do like Q&As with the fans, like would I rather spend an hour just scrolling through my Instagram feed looking at photos, or spend an hour or connecting with fans?
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly, bro.
But like I've had to like push past that barrier where like I guess the coaches and stuff, like when they see that, they're like, is this guy focused on rugby? But it's only like a small amount of time, eh?
Yeah, it's definitely a balance to learn with it, I guess. But bro, if you can do that and you can play well, it doesn't matter.
How important do you reckon social media is in terms of building like personal brand or building your
huge,
brand?
bro. Because look, we're only playing rugby till if we're lucky, 35, 36. That's at the max. So that kind of amount of time where you can lever your brand and lever off you playing in front of crowds and meeting a lot of people is very short, bro. So if you can grow that you as a brand, Artie Saver, if you can grow the Artie Saver brand, by the time you finish, you're going to have a lot of people who want to who want to be connected to that brand, you know, which is good for you in the long run in terms of business or connections and stuff like that. Yeah, bro.
Are you into it? Or like,
100%.
have you thought about like you and the brand that you want to
Yeah, still kind of deciding, but I think as long as I keep a clean enough image, then nothing, then you know, it's not going to derail anything. But yeah, bro, I think if you can use your name and your, I guess, very lucky your kind of profile as a pro rugby player to grow a brand that people want to be a part of by the time you finish, then you've been smart. Then you've been smart.
Fuck. You'll be mean, bro, because like you're young and like you're just coming through the ranks, and like people, if you like, I just see potential, like you just showing or whatever, if you're into it, like who you are, your journey, and then like when you become the person that you want to be, GOAT, then like people be like, I've been with this guy through his whole career.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it'd be like, that's gangster, bro. You spoke about you know, your photography, but like apart from photography, is there anything else that you like that want to do outside of footy? You seem like you're a smart young man, pretty intelligent,
pretty buzzy, but I want to, you know, like TED Talks. Yeah, I want to. Only a couple of people know. Now heaps of people kind of know. Yeah, but I want to do. I want to travel the world doing TED Talks.
Yeah, what would you like to talk?
Not too sure, but I love the concept of like leadership and learning how to deal with people.
Yeah.
Grow relationships. But I also like the vulnerability side of like mental health. So leadership, vulnerability. I don't know. Those are two things I've been tossing up and kind of reading into a lot.
Yeah. How do you get on those TED Talks? Do you have to be a certain?
Bro, I don't know, but one day I'm going to learn, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. But also, travel the world, give TED Talks. But it doesn't matter.
Or like corporate speaking, or just going to people, companies, anything.
Yeah, I see. You know, Dr. Paul Wood. He's doing a lot of work inside corporate operations.
There's a lot of money in there,
and stuff
in that space.
Yeah, I'm sure there
Even
is,
though it's
bro.
not about
and
money.
It's not about the money, but yeah, I mean, if you can make a living by doing something that you're passionate about, then that's hissing. Just like rugby, bro. Just like rugby.
Yeah, you seem pretty like really well spoken for a young dude. Like,
well, growing up. You know how like parents always help you with like homework and stuff?
Yeah.
Like mum didn't, so had to suss it out. And dad definitely wasn't going to help. He just started hitting us.
We've all been through there, man.
No. So, but mum loved, like, it was very important to mum and dad that we were able to converse properly and our people skills were good. So yeah, mum and dad would help us out with our speeches at breakfast time.
True.
At breakfast time, sometimes dad would like get up and make us like role play, like meeting new people and introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
We're like 8, 7, the weirdest stuff.
Were you doing it to him?
Yeah, so he'd be standing there or he'd be sitting there or whatever, and he'd be like, right, you're walking into a room and I'm a new person, but you have to talk to me. So you got to, and so he'd teach us the importance of like just a pretty firm handshake. You don't have to crush anyone.
Yeah, and just greeting someone.
Yeah, greeting someone, being polite.
That's cool.
Eye contact, being confident. Just bro, like little things like that. And at the time, you're like, what is going on? I just want to eat my Nutri-Grain, bro. Like,
but you appreciate it now, eh?
And bro, I cherish it now. And mum on the other side would help us with our like school speeches and stuff like that. Hours and hours of kind of skills around that stuff, because both of them growing up or during their jobs had to do that stuff. So very grateful to the things mum and dad taught us around people skills and whatnot.
Bro, TED Talks, eh?
Yeah, but buzz. Yeah,
how did that come from?
I was watching TED Talks and this amazing lady, you probably heard of her. I saw Scuds talking about her for a bit. Brené Brown. Yeah. She's hissing, bro.
That's Anton's favourite too.
Yeah, bro. So I've when it was during the season, so whenever we travelled, I'd always download like, bro, these you can hear me eating these like crickets.
The people were going, can someone tell that guy to stop eating and talking?
Whenever we travel, I'd always download like, I don't know, 4 or 5 podcasts and try to find as many videos of her as I could. and there's not that much content from her, but what I did end up doing was just like re-listening and re-watching her TED Talks and her podcasts. I don't know. She's the full package, the way she presents, and then what she talks about, bro, it's awesome. The thing she has to say is...
Kind of makes sense, eh?
Oh, it's so easy to understand as well. She gives it to you in such a way that's like, oh... Huh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, bro.
How did you... because you big, like you want to speak on like well-being and stuff. How did you come to that? Have you been through?
Had my own experience with anxiety heaps, but depression went through a big phase of that around the time when I didn't make 20s.
Yeah,
living alone in Hamilton. So I faced had my demons back then. Sorted them out.
In a dark space or
very
like
dark space,
isolated?
Bro. For me at the time, like rugby was the be all and end all, and so when it wasn't going well, that's your life not going well, you know. So for me, I didn't make 20s, and I just thought like that was it. I'm a failure. I'm letting down my parents.
So what'd you do, bro? Like in that?
Bro, it's pretty standard to other people, but to like rugby players, I just started drinking.
Yeah.
Heaps. I was a dick, bro. I was a real dick.
Addicted or nah?
Nah, not addicted. I was just, bro, spending a lot of money. Kind of just going further and further into the hole. So kind of hurting the people who cared about me around me. Mum and dad, they were like real worried, bro. They were staying up all night with me in Hamilton, just trying to like sort it out, bro. Ended up just the big kind of turning point for me, bro, was I wrote my car off with my little brother in it.
Yeah.
And there was like a big eye opener. We walked away unhurt, and honestly, if something had happened to him, you would never forgive yourself. So for me, that was a big frick. That was a big that was like the final kind of straw. I was like, right, something needs to change. And that's why I'm so grateful for the Wellington opportunity, because a couple of weeks later, I was able to hop on a plane and kind of just like, you can't run away from your problems forever, but I think there's something about changing the environment you're in and your context, almost like a fresh start, which just helped so much, and it gave me like an opportunity to regrow and regather to the point where I was kind of able to sort that stuff out. So that was my experience, bro. And then to answer your question, someone close to me committed suicide a couple of years ago, like a year and a bit ago. And I was like, I'm sure we can be doing more around this, to tackle this kind of this stuff. So that's all it is, bro.
Hare. And like what I've learned over time is like I used to be a big, I still am a big advocate on like encouraging the message saying it's okay to talk. So we're trying to tell people that are in that space or not feeling okay that it's okay to talk, and for them to try and reach out.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like I just caught up with Mike King the other day, and he's driving, he's flipped it, and he's saying, what are we doing? The people, like for us that are doing so well, what are we doing to make it okay for them to talk?
Enable others to feel comfortable.
Yeah, because it's easy to say, but it's okay to talk to people, but like you've got to create that safe space, you know what I mean, for people. But it's me, and also hearing that story and like hearing what you've been through, because people think like you're just young and bulletproof, like you don't go through it, you know what I mean?
I thought I was young and bulletproof, bro,
Yeah.
You know?
But did you notice you were going through all that, or is it not?
At the time, it was. At the time, you kind of just roll with the punches. You don't really know what's going on. And I had no education around what mental health, depression, anxiety, all of that kind of stuff even was. So for me, I was just like, why am I like sad why am I in bed till like 1 o'clock every day? Why do I feel like this? Not knowing that I was going through some stuff. Looking back, obviously, it's quite clear. But yeah, bro, it's
tough, eh?
It is, bro. It is, bro. Especially when you don't have like a good circle around you, strong people that you can lean against. Pretty stoked now. I got like the boys, you, Tal, you know.
The group, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Bro, that's mean, man. Going through that to wanting to do table talks.
Oh, well, sometimes you just want to help others go
Yeah,
through what
bro.
you went through,
It's
bro.
more than us, eh?
Yeah, it's always about giving back, bro. It's always about giving back.
Yeah. And like, I guess these table talks, like people talk about, you know, that transition from rugby to not, like, I guess, like life.
Yeah, life after.
Do you think about that? Or
Yeah, all the time, bro.
Yeah?
Because I think I was like sick of hearing people who finish playing rugby have nothing to then move on towards.
Yeah.
Which is sad because you go from having such a purpose. You know, you're trying to win. You're training every week. You've got a goal like literally every minute of your life while you're playing rugby to then having kind of nothing. So
Nothing, eh?
yeah, it's important to me to I guess have things in place for when I finish rugby.
Yeah.
So
what
it's
is
quite
that?
seamless.
Like, you got your photography,
Yeah,
that like could be a
photography,
side thing.
the TikTok thing is something
Yeah.
I'll start working
Work
on.
You're like, because you said you went to uni in Hamilton. Are you still studying or not?
Yeah, so I'm nearly finished my commerce degree.
Yo.
But now that I play like full time, it's
Yeah.
gonna
It's
be
difficult,
it's
eh?
gonna take a while. Yeah.
True.
Nah,
That's what
but
I mean,
it's-
bro.
yeah, rugby isn't forever, bro. So you
That's it, eh?
gotta have other things in place.
The younger the boys realize that at a young age, because like I know when I first came in, I was
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah, bro.
I don't have to wait until like the last 2 years to
Yeah.
think about,
Yeah.
because I'm 18, I'm bulletproof. But like the younger the guys can realize that like rugby is only there for a small window,
Yeah, bro.
and to work on the things, the transition's way more smooth, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I shit myself like.
Hey.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to.
Brotherhood.
That's why I'm trying to like. Oh, but I actually enjoy the hustle, like of doing things outside of footy.
Yeah, bro,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I actually enjoy it, but like I know that it's gonna help me lead into just life after footy. You know?
Yeah, bro, and you see it too. Like you got a beautiful young family now and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you see yourself off the rugby field doing a lot of good stuff, and
Yeah.
and it's mean as young fellas seeing guys who are 4 or 5 years ahead of us putting things in place for when they finish
Yeah,
playing rugby.
and that's
bro.
important, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard. And there's been a topic that's kind of like I spoke about it in my Q&A podcast, and I seen an article, like I mentioned it. Israel Adesanya, he talked about it, but like humbleness. What are your thoughts around that, bro? Like what is like, you know, like
It's a tough one, bro. It's like it's actually not. It's maybe
To
it
you?
is. Maybe it is.
what does it mean to you? Like,
Okay, so like something Dad just drilled into us. I love my dad. Was humility before honor. So above, like pretty much just above all else, make sure you are humble. You don't think you're above anyone. You're not too good for anyone, and you're not too good to do anything either. And I guess in all your interactions, that's to show, but which is really important, and that's how I go about my business. And I see when we're out together, when people come up to you, and if they're polite, then you have the time of the day for them. So yeah, I think you have to be humble to be a good person. But
Yep.
then there are times, bro, when you have to acknowledge the good stuff you've done.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point in doing it?
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's the Kiwi way, eh, bro? Like,
it is a little bit, bro.
Like
yeah.
they say like Kiwis are humble, but like yeah, I'm never getting this space too, and I just wanted to see your thoughts on it.
Nah, so I'd say we're pretty aligned in what we think. Bro, sometimes you just do good stuff, and I think there's definitely a line between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
You can be you can be the most confident person in the world, but still be very humble.
So what, like you? So say
Give me example.
example. So like say like I'm carving up on a rugby field,
Yeah, bro.
and like I come out on social media like, yo, very proud. I'm pumped about my
Yeah,
performance. Yo, let's go. Like flexing on myself. Is that?
Nah, bro, you done it. You acknowledge it, bro, because if you play badly or you do something wrong, you're also going to acknowledge it as well.
Yeah, but see, that's the difference. Like, I reckon, like praising yourself. But if you're praising yourself and at the same time not putting other people down, then I reckon that's okay.
Yeah, bro.
Hey.
Yeah.
But you see, like if I did that, people will still go, "Fuck this guy, cookie."
100%.
You know what I mean?
I think there's a way you can do it without coming across as an idiot. You can. There, I'm sure there's a classy way to do it, and unsure what that is because no one does it yet. But
Yeah.
bro, if you play good, and you find a good photo, or you even put up a photo with your family and you say it was awesome to play with the boys, stoked with how we played and stoked with how I played, or something like that. And it's always good to see my family. Like, I don't reckon if someone has a problem with that, then they got to probably look at themselves rather than looking at you, bro.
And even like try celebrations, like scoring a try.
Bro, if you score a try, you hot dog, but I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're in that moment. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. But yeah,
You know, like what are your take on it? What's your take?
But the trust, yeah, bro. Because when I scored my try, my debut, I lost the plot.
But see, I see that as like, yo.
But I think for me, it was a massive moment. But there are other. I feel like I've seen a couple of examples of people scoring tries this year, and kind of like, I don't know, it feels like it's a bit too excessive. But it's all, I don't know, it's all relative, and it's up to you what you do.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
you think no to like?
No, I rate it. So you score a try, like, you see the boys scoring tries at the World Cup, you guys scoring tries.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a massive moment. You got to celebrate that stuff, but not excessively. That's probably what my take on it will be.
What's excessively? I'm
Bro,
keeping the heat here.
I score a try, pump the ball away, or, Chahu with my boys. Yeah, do whatever.
But the Barrett does that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, do all of that stuff. But then there's a next job to do.
Yeah.
Not like continuing on. Like,
Oh,
I feel
like-
like it's
Yeah.
It's just
No, because like I know he won't mind me talking about him, but like Rico Ioane,
yeah.
like I've never seen a guy that's so confident, like who just like he's so confident, scores his try, he's celebrating, he just backs himself 100%. But like he doesn't do it in a way where he's like. He doesn't do it in a way where I think like he's being cocky, but like I've seen people write about him. I've seen like comments and stuff about him, like saying, "Oh, he's arrogant, he's cocky, like he doesn't know how to just be humble." But the man's just like that's what like I was trying to ask and get across is like the man's just confident in himself.
Yeah, 100%.
This is like what we should be teaching our kids is to be so comfortable in their skin that they can express themselves.
I think you see different personalities come out when people score tries. It's crack up what different, like when different types of people score a try, they do different things. But bro, I love seeing that confidence. Like Sean Johnson when he scored, like when boys who are like that score a try and they're like, let's go, like up at the crowd and stuff like that, running in, high fiving fans and stuff. I reckon that's hissing, and people love that passion and that energy when people show that what I just did. That means something. That means a lot to me. Like it's hissing, and But I still think there's a line. Yeah, don't know what that line is though. I don't really score too many tries. So.
But yeah, like because I've had to like when I was I remember scoring a try, and like because with the boys I love like getting hyped. Like, let's go. And I scored a try and like Reeks ran up and he was like, yeah, let's go. And like, bro, I just like didn't celebrate, just
ran back to halfway.
And then after the game he's like,
what are you trying?
Oi, what are you changes for? But like, and that kind of hit me because when I look at it, when I watch the thing, like I know I want to celebrate, but it's because it's been embedded in my head that we don't celebrate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for me, it was like score the try, run back to halfway. And then ever since that, like, Reek said that to me, like when I scored tries, I'm like, like let's
Bro,
go,
have to.
you know?
Yeah. I think the line for me is when you start talking to the players on the other team.
Yeah, that's like,
bots.
Yeah.
But no, I 100% back it because I scored a couple of tries this year and I was like head down, do the jog back to halfway once.
Hard, eh?
But like, dumb.
Yeah,
but the thing is like,
we play rugby because we want to score tries.
Exactly, bro. So I guess you got to acknowledge it and do it. And maybe for me, it's a little bit thinking about right that the game's not over. Yeah. There is a next job to do, but in that moment you can because when you win the whole game, you also celebrate, or you win the whole tournament, you also celebrate. So you can celebrate the little moments as well as the big moments.
Hard because obviously, like we're talking about being humble, but we're only referencing to rugby because that's what we do as a job.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are so many other different scenarios or different situations, and like another one I mentioned as well is like you play a mean game, but what do you think about after the game when you know you've played a mean game? What's the thing that you think about?
Exactly what you're talking about. You think about the things that you didn't do well, bro. But I reckon it's good because that's how we get better. But I know what you mean because, bro, you've played a mean game. Still, you gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy it for that moment.
Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah,
and then next day, you refocus. But
you're right.
I think we don't, as I'm gonna say, as Kiwis, as like especially Polynesian Māori, like we don't acknowledge ourselves more.
No.
You know, and do you think that's like a jeopard? Is it jeopardment?
Jeopardize. I don't know, like how are you trying to say it?
And like, it's like takes a negative like hit to our young kids growing up. You know what I mean? Like that whole humbleness thing. Because I went to a program that Tunga runs at Rongotai, and we asked the question to the kids. They were year 10s, and we're like, like who wants to be like a leader?
Yeah.
Or who thinks of themselves as like being more, and the whole classroom, it was like 10 of them. They were just like this, like shy, like they didn't want to acknowledge, like they didn't want to. They were just being humble because that's what we've been taught. Like we just don't. But
especially in the island culture as well. You know?
Yeah. But like that humble's kind of like taking us right down. You know what, like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
It's sad, eh?
Yeah, you know, like where's in like you in the class, who's the most sportiest kid in this class? Everyone knows it's this dude, but he's just like away, you know?
Yeah, bro, yeah.
And when you see in movies and American stuff, you ask him who wants to race, all of them like, yeah. But
I know exactly what you mean. What about it's even like you got like family events and stuff, and one of the kids is like all the cousins are together, but one of the kids is mean at dancing or singing, and you go sis, like, can you sing for everyone? And they're like, no, like, because they've been, I don't know, been taught to, we don't want to see, I guess, what you're good at.
100%, eh?
Yeah, or I don't know, I know exactly what you mean, bro.
It leads on to many more things, and we've gone like from what we're talking about, but it's good because we're just chatting. But is there anything else you want to talk about?
Bro, I think, we've covered a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, man, hard. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Us. It's pretty cool, like having someone like you on because like you're young, like you know you're share your story, and the main thing is like you'll share your story now to where you are now, and then in 6 to 10 years time, even hopefully 12, like do this again, and then we can like
be a lot different, bro.
Be a lot different,
bro. Probably, and even in the space of 8 months, probably if you ask me the same questions, I might have some different answers for you, bro. But 100%. That's the beauty of it, eh? Always growing and always shifting. And people that are listening and watching, they can see who you are now and then just see your growth through life. Yeah. But thanks for coming on, Us, and your time, bro. Thank you.
But yeah, anything you want to say to the people that are listening, watching? But
first of all, thank you, bro. Nothing to say to everyone. Just find good friends. That's a good one.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening and watching. Wherever you are in the world, lo faku. Peace out. Shows.